After the Warriors lose Game 2 to the Sacramento Kings, is it time to panic? Is this series over? And could Draymond Green be playing his final games as a Warrior? You're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for rolling with us. And no, I do not think this series is over. Loaded show coming your way. We'll talk about that, the Draymond Green ejection, and a whole lot more. Before we get started, though, do me a favor, share this video. Let your friends and family and your homies know what we're doing here on Warriors Today. Year-round coverage of the Dubs, multiple videos every single week, hopefully some watch parties throughout the NBA playoffs. Click the share button. Then select the Twitter icon. Click post to Twitter, then tag me at Chase_Senior. So the Dubs late last night on Monday falling to the Kings as they go down in this first round series 2-0 by a final score of 114-106. And once again, it was the Warriors defense who failed them. But, of course, Draymond Green, as he's been accustomed to being in the spotlight for some of these wrong reasons, he gets ejected. And, of course, the Sacramento fans are throwing heat towards him. Now he's at the topic of conversation all throughout the national media landscape. Now, the Warriors did get 28 points from Steph Curry, 22 from Andrew Wiggins. That's certainly a good sign. 21 from Klay Thompson. But this is a Kings team that is very deep, very talented. Their speed, youth, and athleticism has caused a lot of problems for Golden State in the first two games, but I'm going to say this about this series, right? It hasn't looked pretty for the Golden State Warriors in the first two games on the road against a very good and energized Sacramento team. The series is not over yet. Are the Kings a really good team? Yes, well coached by Mike Brown, the former assistant under Steve Kerr. They have a bunch of different players who can make plays and score at all three levels. They have been humming, and the fan base has been raucous in Sacramento. They're fearless, they're athletic, and it's posed a lot of challenges for the Warriors. But one thing that's impressed me about the Kings, they haven't feared the Dubs like other teams in the past have, considering the Warriors have been on this dynastic run. But I want to see how a young team can respond on the road in a very difficult place to play in the Chase Center in San Francisco, because that's where you have to rise up to the occasion, and that's how championship teams can go on a deep playoff run. You play well at home, that's one thing. Can you go on the road and knock off the defending NBA champions, a group that's very, very experienced? That's why I have hope that this series is not done just yet. Now, what the Warriors must improve on is their defense. In Game 1, they couldn't get a stop. In Game 2, it was the same story. Could not get a stop. And Steve Kerr has to make some type of adjustments throughout the course of this series for the Warriors to have any hope of coming back. Now let's get to Draymond Green here, because he stomped on the chest of Domantas Sabonis, and we have to talk about it here. Did a quick short on my way to work. Make sure you go check that out. Mark J. Spears with this. Warriors star Draymond Green asked for an X-ray on his right ankle after the Game 2 loss to the Kings. He felt a little bit of soreness, but it looks as though Draymond Green is going to be okay. And Domantas Sabonis did grab his ankle. He got an X-ray after Draymond stepped on his chest, and the X-rays there are negative. So both players seem to be fine as we shift gears to Games 3 and 4 in San Francisco. As for what Domantas Sabonis had to say about the Draymond Green incident. When I fell, I was protecting myself. Then the incident happened. There is no room for that in our game today. As for what Draymond said, my leg got grabbed the second time in 2 nights that's happened, and the referee is just watching. I got to land on my foot somewhere, and I'm not the most flexible person. So it's not stretching that far. I can only step so far with someone pulling my leg away. Now let's address this, and let's take the approach that a couple of things can be true at the same time, right? Should Draymond Green have stepped on the chest of Domantas Sabonis? Yeah, maybe not. But why did it happen? We know that Draymond Green has a history of being a dirty player. There is a paper trail that has followed him. Shoot, he hit LeBron James and the Stones a couple of years ago in the NBA Finals. That's what allowed the Cavs to come back from that 3-1 deficit. But go back and watch the play. And if you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because when Draymond Green landed, Domantas Sabonis had grabbed his ankle. And think about it. When you're the size of Draymond Green and somebody grabs your ankle and you try to extend upwards, right? It's not like you can lunge forward to jump over a body. So Draymond came down, a little bit exaggerated, on the chest of Domantas Sabonis. Let's not act like Sabonis is also in the wrong, not in the wrong as well, right? Because he is in the wrong. He grabbed Draymond's ankle, right? He's not trying to protect himself. Draymond's foot came down on the hardwood. Domantas Sabonis wrapped his arms around Draymond's ankle. Draymond's trying to extend up. He can't because his leg is getting pulled down. He can't leap over him, so he comes down on his chest. Now, again, could Draymond Green have been less exaggerated with the stomp down? Yeah, a little bit, but we know, obviously, he's an emotional player, and he probably was like, why is this dude grabbing my ankle? Both are in the wrong. It's not just Draymond Green here. So who's to blame? I'm going to go Domantas Sabonis because he started it. If he didn't grab Draymond's ankle, I don't think that Draymond comes down on his chest. And the fact that Sabonis got an X-ray, come on, man, you're fine. G for Draymond Green, S for Sabonis. Who's to blame? Let us know down in the comment section. Coming up next on the show, winners from this Game 2 defeat, losers from this Game 2 defeat. Stay tuned. Stay in the saddle with us. I'm back from Key West and in D.C., and I'm fired up, ready to get back on this mic. Before we get started on those winners and losers, Warriors playoff shirts available right now. All you have to do is plug in that link down below, chatsports.com/Dubs playoffs. Hopefully, this is another long postseason run. The Warriors have been in a spot before where they've been down in a playoff series. They can come back. That's that championship pedigree. Game 2 winners. Got to start with Steph Curry. I think in games 1 and 2, he's been really good. Got a little bit banged up early, but good to see him finish that ball game. And of course, when he's playing like this, 28.6 times, 3 rebounds, 9 of 21, the Warriors are always going to be in it. And he's due to go off for a crazy game, which can hopefully flip the momentum, flip the switch of this playoff series to allow Golden State to come back. Steph Curry is going to continue to have to be on a heater for the Warriors to have any hopes of coming back from this 2-0 hole. Andrew Wiggins, another Game 2 winner. Game 1, a little bit rusty. Missed that big shot late. Game 2, thought he played some pretty good basketball. There were some moments where he was defending De'Aaron Fox. Steve Kerr asked about that during the game, and he said, look, we need our most athletic guy on their most athletic guy. Andrew Wiggins fits that profile. 22 points, 9 of 19. 2 of 8 from 3. Has to improve there from downtown, but hopefully he's knocking off the rust. It's great to see Wiggins on the floor. This is a Warriors team that will not make a deep playoff run without Andrew Wiggins playing well, and that's why it's so important for him to come back. Another Game 2 winner, Gary Payton II. Much needed minutes off the bench, and he's needed to play pretty well because Jordan Poole is banged up, and because of that, Jordan Poole has not been good in the first 2 games of this series. Gary Payton, limited action, 13.6 boards, 2 steals, 5 of 6 from the floor, hit a corner 3 there early, is always going to play high-level defense, and production from Payton certainly promising because like Andrew Wiggins, obviously for different reasons, missed a lot of time. Andrew Wiggins, knocking off some of that rust, and hopefully they're going to start to become more acclimated with the playoff style and pace as this series does progress. Now, we are less than 300 people away from 50,000 subscribers. We still have an opportunity of taking down the Los Angeles Lakers report. They're a little more than 200 people away from that milestone, and everybody here at Chat Sports was saying, Chase, it's impossible. Why are you even saying it's a competition? Dub Nation, show up, show out, hit that subscribe button. We can, and we will beat the Lakers report to 50,000 subs. Game 2 losers, we'll run through this pretty quickly here. Draymond Green. Anytime you get ejected, anytime that you call the crowd the P word and you get a little bit emotional, that gets that crowd fired up. It gets the opposition fired up as well. Something to monitor here with his status, his mental aptitude, and also how the Kings respond as we progress in this first round series. Jonathan Kuminga, he wasn't good. His minus number, not ideal for the Warriors, and this is a series where they need his athleticism, right? They need him to be a high-level defender. Only had 4 minutes, 0 points, 1 rebound, 0 dimes. I thought it was interesting how Steve Kerr went with Moses Moody early in this ball game, and Jonathan Kuminga hasn't gotten a lot of run, but they need his defensive prowess. Jordan Poole, I understand he's been injured with that ankle injury the first 2 games of this series. Simply need more from Jordan Poole, considering what he's getting paid. 1 of 7 from the floor is not going to cut it against a Kings team that can light up the scoreboard in a hurry, right? And when they can score in bunches, you need to respond, especially considering how bad this Warriors defense has been. Is the injury worse than we know? Maybe, but you got to get through it. Pop some ibuprofen, pop some Tylenol. Hopefully that swelling does go down a little bit and Jordan Poole can return to form. He has the potential to be a very good player. So far, he's been below average. And lastly, it's the Warriors defense. Also a loser, not just in game 2, but throughout this entire series. When they need to buckle down and get a stop, they can't. And look, give the Kings credit, right? They have so many different options who can put the biscuit in the basket from all 3 levels of the floor, but this is a championship pedigree type of organization that's prided itself when they've been at their best with playing good defense, and their defensive effort all throughout this year, it's been somewhat embarrassing if we're being frank. So can the Warriors win this series? Type H if you have some hope. If you think they're done, you think they're cooked, type D down in the comments section. Appreciate y'all for watching, and we'll catch you next time here on Warriors Today.